I am up just a little earlier than normal because I've got to get some tires on the van. I was looking at my tires a couple of days ago, just as I always do. I just take a walk around the van and look at things, and tires are one of those things. You know, check your oil, check other fluids, and check tires constantly. And so I was a little bit surprised to see that a couple of my tires are a little bit bald, and they've still got some tread on them, but they are down to the wear indicators. And at first I thought maybe that was a sign that something is not so good. Maybe I've got some suspension issues, alignment issues, something like that. But in looking at the tires, they are worn evenly across the tire on both of the tires. And the two tires that are needing to be replaced are the front tires. I have been rotating them. I probably haven't been rotating them as much as I should have. And maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. If I were rotating them, I probably would have gotten a little more mileage out of them. But being that I haven't rotated them, I can now just buy two tires and leave two of them on the van. So the two on the back of the van are in pretty good shape. The two on the front of the van, not so much. So I have the first appointment of the day because I'm buying tires from a tire shop in the valley here. So normally I'm hanging out at the ocean where it's cooler, but figured since I'm going into the valley where it's going to be warmer, I took their first appointment, try to get it over with, and then I'll get back over to the ocean so that I don't have to deal with heat. It's supposed to be a warm day today, although it's a little overcast, which maybe it won't be so warm, but it's already feeling a little muggy, and that's not so good as far as I'm concerned. Rather oddly, I'm going to Discount Tire, not San Diego Tire, and they are right here, back to back in the same building. Not just the same complex, they share the same building, which is really kind of strange. So these tires are not too terribly bad. The sidewalls have some tears and some scrapes in them. You can see there's a pretty big tear into the sidewall there, which kind of bothers me a little bit. But it's really the tread here that I don't like. They are pretty much, like I said, down to the wear indicators, and so in my mind, that's time to be thinking about new tires. So I wanted to drive a little bit just to see how the tires feel, and I did a little city driving, and then now I'm on the freeway. And so far, I'm happy. The new tires are really quiet, and I had them put the old tires on the front of the van and put the new tires on the back. And oddly, the new tires are pretty quiet as well. The old worn tires seem like they were getting louder and louder the more tread that they were losing. Well, I haven't driven a whole lot. I've driven about 10 miles, but the tires feel good. It's almost like I've got 4 brand new tires, which is great. Obviously, it's probably better to buy a set of 4 tires. I just really couldn't afford to do that. I had a little reserve saved up, and I was shopping around trying to buy the most inexpensive tires I could buy because I still need parts for the van to buy. There's still some other work that needs to be done. Unfortunately, tires are expensive, and those 2 tires ended up using up all of my reserve, unfortunately. But you know, there's all these extra things There's mounting and balancing, there's a disposal fee, I think there's a hazard fee that you've got to pay for, and then of course tax. And so once you add all those up, it ends up being kind of expensive. That pretty much decimated my reserve. I was hoping I'd have enough left over to buy the other parts I need to get the other stuff I need done on the van. But good news is, when they had the wheels off, the front wheels off, I was able to take another look at my front brakes. That's one of the things that kind of needs to get done at some point. The good thing about that was I was able to get a good look at the front brakes, and they don't need to be done, at least not right away. They've still got a little bit of life left on the pads, so that's good. Now, I did a little research regarding tires before I bought these tires that I did today. The tires that I have on the van are an older tire that are not produced anymore. They're a Falken G4S, and Falken now makes a G5 in replacement to that G4, which is a tire that is exclusive to Discount Tire. And it has been a reasonably good tire. I kind of felt like it could have been a little bit better in the rain, and it was certainly not a quiet tire, really noisy tire on the freeway. And also, I really didn't get as good a mileage out of it as I was hoping for. So I was doing a little research and decided to go with a different tire. I went with a Falken again, mostly because it's a tire that I can get at Discount Tire. I kind of like Discount Tire because they're all over the place, and if I have a problem, I can just go back to Discount Tire and get the problem taken care of really quickly and easily. So I felt comfortable with going back there. I just didn't feel so comfortable with buying that kind of same tire that I had before. So I went with a different Falken tire. I think Falken makes a decent tire. So one of the things that I found out in my research was that Falken tires don't seem to last quite as long as some other brands of tires. They make their tires a little bit grippier, and so you get better traction, but you lose a little overall tire mileage. It's a little trade-off that you kind of have to decide. Do you want a tire that is going to be grippy in all situations, or do you want a tire that's going to last for a very long time, but you lose a little bit of that grippiness, especially in rain and when the weather gets a little bit cooler? And that's just really up to you about what you want to do. I felt like I like that kind of grippiness, even though I am giving up a little bit of extra mileage. So the tires that I bought are rated for about 65,000 miles, which is not bad, but they should be fairly grippy, and they should be good in the rain, and they should be quiet. So those are all things that were sounding good to me. This van is a commercial van, and because of that, it requires a tire that has a higher load rating. So all tires have a number of different ways to rate the tire. They give you a rating of how fast the tire can go, a speed rating. They also give you a rating of how long the tire should last, how many miles the tire should last. And then there is a special subgroup that has a load rating for the tire. And because this is a commercial van, it requires a tire that has a heavier load rating than a regular passenger car. So because of that, these tires are a little bit more expensive than a regular passenger car tire would be. So unfortunately, that means that I had to pony up some extra money for a much more expensive tire than I really would have preferred to purchase. But when you really stop and think about it, tires are an incredibly important piece of your vehicle, because you've got 4 little contact patches about this big with my tire that are holding my van to the road. And so that means that a tire is a very important piece of your vehicle, and really it's not something that you should skimp on. So I'll let you know how they work out over the next coming weeks and months, but at least right now I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit safer. The van drives and handles a little bit better, and so right now it feels like it is money well spent. At least it feels safer. So thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it.